Hello, and welcome to Build a Ball Workshop, where we build a ball and have a ball doing it. I'm Rob. Welcome, RK Smith, whatever you want to call me, Cheeto to some. Yeah, how you doing? Out there in out there in the internet, typing away on the Twitters, on the internet. That's all there is on the internet. Is Twitter. That's all it is. That's all, what they invented the internet for, was just for Twitter. But yeah. So today I'm in a different kind of space than usual. I'm out in the garage instead of the basement, because basically just the process of where I'm at. It makes more sense for the playfield to be out here, because as soon as I get done, well, I had to bring it up here first and sand down all of these inserts. Here, let me switch the camera real quick. So last time I glued in all of these plastic inserts that, here, let me do a little, glued in these plastic inserts. So whenever the light turns on under them, they glow. And since I'm using RGB lights, I'll be able to make any of these inserts any color, which is why I just chose white for all of them. So the cool thing is, yeah, I had to bring this out here to the garage to sand it, so I didn't want to get sand all over my stuff, or salt, not sanding, but you know what I mean. I didn't want to get like sawdust or whatever all over my stuff. So sanded that down out here, and then while I was out here, I was like, well, we're also gonna have to clear coat it out here, so I might as well, since I have the rotisserie and all the stuff out here, I could just do it. I could just draw it out here. So I did the pencils already, and I've done the black inks, the black ink inks. Well, technically not ink, because I'm using paint pens, so technically it's paint, but it draws like a Sharpie. But yeah, I'm using like Posca paint pens, like stuff like that. So yeah, I've got the line work done for the most part, aside from like some lines that are going to be colored lines and stuff like that. So I've got like all the black outlines and line work done, and so now I'm going to go in and do the colors essentially. So I've done the pencils and I've done the inking, and now it's time to do the colors. So let's get to the nitty gritty. Oh yeah, and Kuma's here right now. He's in my lap. Kuma the good boy. Hey Kuma, say hi. Say hi. Hello. Hey buddy. Alright. So he's probably just gonna be chilling out here today. So first off, this around the outlines and the drain here is supposed to be like emergency tape kind of a look. So let's get the orange out here. Hey, bud. I got a piece of wood here for getting the paint primed a little bit. There we go. Alright, cool. Good to go. Start on this little guy right here. Well, actually, wait. Almost forgot. For I color this, I need to do a little bit of erasing. Get rid of some of these, some of this pencil lead. Because if there's too much pencil lead on here, with like the black paint pens, it's fine. But with the colored paint pens, the color, especially if it's a lighter color like yellow, it tends to kind of mix with the color and kind of muddies up the color a little bit. So I want to get rid of as much of this these pencil markings as I can, or I'm going to be coloring this yellow. And I'm probably actually going to have to go back in and touch up just a little bit of the black line work on this, because since it's acrylic paint, some of it might come off a little bit when I erase, but not enough to like really worry. See, it's easy to just go back with the marker, the paint pen, and fix it back up good as new. Go ahead and get. I'm gonna go ahead and get like just. I'm not gonna erase all of them at once, but I'm gonna get a chunk of them ready so I can color in like a couple of sweeps. Let's get that. I think this is gonna be the last one in this sweep. Last chunk. So yeah. All right. Thank you, Jordan Jones, and evening to you too, Zomner. Yeah, it's an early afternoon here because I would be streaming a little bit later probably, but a combination of just I want to get more work on this, and now's the time to work, and also later today I'm going to be going to a pinball tournament near me, so I gotta do this first. Earlier in the day, since that's later. So let's see here. Now that I've erased, I can go back in. Just touch it up, make sure all the blacks are still nice and dark and deep. Just clean up all the little lines from the erasing. There. Okay, cool. And one more right there. There we go. Early works for me. I was catching up on the Cyberpunk stream, and then you come on. Oh, yeah. Well, perfect, yeah. Always glad to have you. So, alright, let's officially... Luckily, the good thing about these paint pens is even though it's paint, it's such a thin layer that dries pretty fast. Also, the good thing about these is, yeah, they actually cover up the black pretty well. So I'll actually have to go back and, yeah, touch up the line work around the yellow as well. But I mean that's a good thing because that means it's able to, like if I make a mistake or something, I'm able to like paint over the black and vice versa. So that's the extreme opaqueness is actually a very good thing, and that's probably why everyone likes these Posca markers. I think that's how you pronounce them. I think that's why everyone likes these Posca markers so much, is you're able to, yeah, just like, unlike a Copic or something like that, like it's a little harder to undo your mistakes versus this. A little more forgiving is the right word. Yeah, this is going to be the final playfield, which is why I'm putting all the effort of like coloring it and inking it and everything. So after I'm done with the art on this playfield, I'm going to get it. My dad has a real nice paint gun, and he bought some. He got a hold of some automotive clear coat. So I'm going to get the playfield art like clear coated and make it nice and smooth, and it's gonna be smooth, baby. Yeah, and one or two of these I might have to do like a second pass of color if I want to like really make it a little more vivid, but for the versatility of like a pen that you can just hold in your hand to paint with, like it's that convenience kind of counterbalances any annoyances with having to like do multiple layers or anything like that. Because like I mean with the real paint you have to do multiple layers anyway, so you know. So that's not even really a detriment, per se. So yeah, the monitor is like kind of behind my head and to the left a little bit. You can probably see the camera angle. So I'm trying to turn around and look every once in a while on comments. So if I don't respond right away, don't fret. I will turn around and check the comments in just a moment. There we go. Right. But actually, I kind of don't mind the lead mixing with the paint just a little bit, because it adds like kind of a slightly grungy texture that kind of makes it a little more, I don't know, lived in kind of looking. I don't know. It just adds a texture to it, so it's not just like flat, sterile colors. A little bit of character to it, I guess, would be the word. And I guess that's why traditional mediums versus like digital, like I love them both. It's all good. It's a nice laid back stream. Nothing urgent. Yeah. Oh yeah. Cool. Yeah. No worries. Yeah. Yeah. All chill vibes here. Posy energy. Just we don't gotta be like those streamers that are just like all in your face and just screaming the memes that the youth are into, and just flossing nonstop. Not every stream has to be that. You can just some streams can just be like a nice little like the stream equivalent of getting like tucked in at night, just like a nice little cozy kind of like sit by the campfire, just get nice and toasty and just chill out. Actually, as a matter of fact, yeah, keeping it old school, Zomner. Yeah, baby. OS for life. Let's pipe in a little bit of music, actually. Yeah. So yeah, unfortunately, the script I used to output like the song info from iTunes to the stream, since Apple essentially discontinued iTunes, that script is no longer usable. So if anyone wants to know a song, I'll just tell you for now. I figure, hey, that's a way to boost interactivity with the crowd. Hey, do like open a dialogue, like, hey, you like this tune? Oh, cool. Yeah, maybe you might like this tune. Conversation starter. Excuse me. Switch cameras around. I might be coming down with the Corona. The Cronus. The Cronus is a little different. It's when like Guillermo del Toro gives you a weird medallion that turns you into a vampire or something. You gotta get that Chrono Trigger virus, yeah. You gotta get that C virus. I assume it was some sort of time-paced disease hacking up pocket space time. Reminds me of an RPG scenario I've read. Get my primer stick out. There we go. There we go. Now we get some nice yellow. It's Sunny Drive time. I'll be mostly living around RPG convention later this year. The theme of the con was decided like in December. It's the end of the world. Oh, jeez, yeah. That's well, I mean, to be fair, for the past couple of years, it could have been ironic to like theme anything into the world. It feels like, honestly. But yeah, that is pretty like, and particularly recently, yeah, it's pretty funny. In light of recent events, it's pretty ironic. Ironic, isn't it?
Disney, if you need me, I do an okay Palpatine. It sounds slightly more like someone with a cold, but
I think it needs to be a little more gravelly. Like, it sounds more like, yeah, just like a dude with a cold than Palpatine. Whoop! Ah, shoot. Thought the paint was dry. Luckily, that's an easy fix. Still on this belt.
Adrian, there are powers to the dark side. You can't imagine.
I love this part of this song. It's like two kind of like dueling guitarists, sort of in like chiptune form. There we go. Fixed. Oh, this is the main play music from Earthshaker Pinball Machine by Pat Lawler from '89, I believe, is the year that came out. But yeah, so the cool thing about that game is that's like the Earthshaker is the perfect example of a pinball machine that's like a really great theme, really great toys. It's fun to play, but unfortunately, you'll never see it in a tournament because literally the rules in the game are busted because you can just keep hitting one shot just over and over and over and over, and that'll give you way more points than going for anything else in the game. So like if you ever see Earthshaker in a tournament, it'll just be all the players just hitting the ramp just over and over and over all day. It'll be the most boring thing in the world. Oh yeah, Jeff Gershman used to own Earthshaker. That's right, yeah. But yeah, there's like a couple of pinball machines where they did a bad job balancing the rules, and it's like there's just like one super over prevalent strategy, and like because of that, it's like, oh, it's unbalanced. You won't see it in a tournament. It's almost like tier lists for fighting games or something in a way. or like not even tier lists. It's like when they like kind of like when they ban like certain moves or something like that. Which I feel like only happens in like Melee. I feel like Melee is the only fighting game community where like a lot of like moves and characters just get banned. But of course, I feel like it might happen in other things. Like I don't know, maybe there's Street Fighter characters that have been banned or something. But I don't keep up super much with the fighting game community because I've never been big into fighting games. But the Smash Brothers community is the most vocal. So it would make sense that they're the ones I've heard about that kind of thing. Oh, Shrek Super Slam tier list. I actually had Shrek Super Slam, but I had like the Game Boy Color version, I think, back in the day. So I don't know if is it only on Game Boy Color, or did they make like a GameCube version of that or something? But yeah, somewhere laying in like like in the basement in one of those tubs or somewhere is a Game Boy Color cartridge of like Shrek Super Slam. I think I remember like Gingerbread Man being like kind of OP, if I remember right. Because he had like, I think he had like stilts or something, and it would like give him like a lot of like range or something, if I remember right. And you could just get people in like a kicking loop with him really easily. It was made, since I'm getting a horror story, don't open that tub. It's been on PS2, XY. Wow, yeah. Like, that's like fucking Nicktoons Racing. Like, that came to everything. Like, they even made an arcade version of that. They have, that they actually have at like one of the arcades around here. So I remember, like, Nicktoons Racing was like came out in a weird time for Nickelodeon. Like, it came out like kind of like in the middle of the like original Nicktoons and like that second kind of generation of Nicktoons. So there's like Ren and Stimpy and stuff like that, but then there's also like Angry Beavers and Hey Arnold and as like racers and stuff. Yeah, I remember actually kind of liking Nicktoons Racing, even though my computer was like dog poop, and couldn't run anything. Red Riding Hood is ultra banned. She has some broken combos you can't do anything against. Oh wow. There you go. Do a little more racing. Hey, Kuma. Almost smeared it again. That was close. That was a close one. Close one. Hey Kuma, hey buddy. Hey buddy, hey. You want back up in my lap? You want up? Come on, come on, come on, come on. Yeah, you can do it. You can do it. I know this wood's in the way. You can do it. Yeah, there you go, buddy. Yeah. I'm not a fighting game guy, but I hear some stuff from podcasts and reading stuff online. I just find it really funny and fascinating for such a niche thing to have such a... Yeah, like specifically, like yeah, just niches within niches of like video games are. I mean, they're admittedly less of a niche than they used to be even like a decade ago. But video games are a niche, and then fighting games within video games are a niche, and then the Shrek fighting game is a niche within a niche within a niche, and it's just crazy how that kind of stuff can happen. There we go. Yeah. Alright, now where to put the... There's that yellow paint pen. Okay, man. You know what, actually... Yeah, this makes sense. Just thinking out loud, as I am one to do. Now, I think that's why I thought I'd be like kind of decent at streaming, because I already think out loud a lot already when I'm like drawing and stuff. So yeah, there you go. A little something about me. Now I'll start coming from this direction. Hey, buddy. You alright, bud? You alright? Yeah, you're alright. You're alright. Yeah. Whoa. Hey, bud. I'll let you sit up here, but you can't mess me up, okay? That was a close one. Could have had a real goof 'em up. Alright. Oh, you're getting antsy, bud. You might have to get back on the floor. Unless you want to lay down. Here. Here. Yeah, get your feet. There you go. Just lay down like that, bud. There you go. See? Yeah, that's better. Oh. You don't want to lay down? All right. Well. Stay away from the paint, bud. Don't get any in your hair or anything. Man, yeah, this is like my first time really using these Posca pens or markers or whatever you want. Paint markers, paint pens, whatever you want to call them. I guess the felt tip, so it's more of a marker than a pen. But yeah, these paint markers are kind of awesome. I'm really digging them. I'm wondering how thick of a piece of paper you would have to draw on, though. Probably like some real, not quite cardstock, but probably some thicker than like office paper for sure. Good boy, Kuma. Being a good boy. There we go. It's funny, these paint markers are better at covering up each other than like pencil markings. Which is funny because like I feel like these paint pens are a lot more thicker and more opaque than, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. That's weird. Like it can draw, like this yellow can like sort of draw over the white, okay, or this yellow can sort of draw over the black, okay, but it has a hard time drawing over any substantial pencil markings, which is kind of weird. But hey, who am I to argue with chemicals? I don't know chemicals. I ain't no scientist. I ain't got no Bunsen burner. You see a Bunsen burner? You see a beaker here? I don't think so. Everything we're... Yeah. I love this mechanical eraser. This is like one of my... Like when I found out about these things, like I think my friend Andrew first turned me on to these things. They're just so convenient. So it's just like having like it's like a fine point mechanical pencil, but for erasing. So you can just like erase perfectly into like these little corners and stuff. It's so nice, rather than like the blunt scattershot shotgun approach of like a regular eraser. Yeah, these ones are pretty... I think I erased most of the rest of these the other day. Yeah, okay, cool. So yeah, we're good now. Make sure there's no paint on my hands before I wipe that off. Alright. Like it's dry. No, it's not. Get that little piece of... There we go. Got it. Got it. It makes sense. Graphite is hydrophobic, and I bet those markers are water-based. If you have a substantial amount of graphite in an area, then it will repel the water and the paint and not cover well. Oh. See, there you go. I got, like I said, I got no Bunsen burners. I don't got this science stuff. But Jordan Jones, he's got it on lockdown over there. He's got the schematics and the hydrogens and the atoms over there in his laboratory. Hey, don't mess with the microphone, buddy. And I mean that in a good way. We need people with like science stuff, like chemicals and photosynthesis and carbohydrates. We need people looking at that stuff. I love when they use this song in the GoldenEye speedrun episode of Math the Band, or Nirvana the Band the Show. I'd watch Math the Band the show too. But no, yeah, the GoldenEye speedrunning episode of Nirvana the Band the show is so good. If anyone out there hasn't seen Nirvana the Band the show, I recommend it. Yes. Hi. Yeah. Oh. I thought that was okay. Breaking Bad. Breaking Bad. Okay. I thought that was like a Bill Nye or like a Neil deGreaser Tyson or whatever. Which I love that now. That after Neil deGrasse Tyson has kind of, I feel like he's pretty much burned up just about all his goodwill with like all his like shitty like pedantic tweets about like, oh well actually if they did this it would be blah 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 blah, and just like sciencing the fun out of like movies and stuff. Since he's like kind of burned, like ever since he's burned a lot of his goodwill from doing that kind of stuff all the time, now they're coming out with another season of Cosmos with him, and it's like, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure Cosmos itself will be all right because he's not. It's not like he's the one at the computer writing the whole show or anything, but it kind of hampers my interest a little bit. What was his newest thing he did? Like a dumb tech. Oh, I haven't kept up with it just because at some point I think I just unfollowed him, and the only uploads like kind of bad takes from him I see anymore is when people are like retweeting him and stuff. And I haven't seen a retweet in a while because I think people just kind of stopped caring about what he has to say, or at least the people I know have stopped caring. So yeah, I haven't heard any of his recent stuff, but yeah, like and it's funny, I can like pinpoint the exact moment when he like his brain clicked into that mode. Oh yeah, the Marriage Story one. That's it. Yeah, it should have been called Divorce Story. It's like it's like Neil here's the point of the movie. Like, come on. Jeez Louise, bud. Hey Neil, I ain't coming into your lab and like throwing your chemicals and shit around and saying like, hey, that ain't right. So, you know, leave the professionals to their job, Neil. But yeah, he like that is like, to be, did he say he was messing with people? At this point, like, I can't separate parody from reality with him anymore because it's like how the world has basically become The Onion. Like, everything is so ridiculous that everything is believable now. I was on Rogan a few years. But yeah, because I remember, I can pinpoint the exact moment. Yeah, like I was saying a second ago, I lost my train of thought. But yeah, I can pinpoint the exact moment, a few years back, when his brain switched into like I'm gonna make tweets about like inaccuracies in movies and shit all the time. It was when he was at like some conference about like astrology or something like that. And he just had this little funny anecdote where he was like talking to James Cameron about how like because James Cameron was boasting that like Titanic was like the most scientifically accurate thing, and like everything about it they like studied, and like, oh, the boat really did do this, and this sky was like this, and like all that stuff. And Neil was like, well, actually on that night the constellations aren't in the right spot, and it was just like a little humorous little anecdote of like him talking with James Cameron, and like that blew up a little bit to the point where like he was like, oh, people like me doing this thing. I think I'm gonna do it a little more. You know, I think that's what went on in old Neil's noggin there. So he just kind of went a little overboard. Because it was kind of that very first time when he was talking about the Titanic thing, it was kind of cute, like kind of like a cute little story, as Raleigh Crump would put it. But the more he kept doing it, it was like, okay, Neil, we get it, we get the joke. Okay, Neil, we get it, we get it. Oh, really? Yeah, I mean, I don't really keep up with him at all. Like, I don't follow him or anything. So yeah, I didn't know he was like Rogan convinced him. Like, I didn't know this back and forth with it. All this hoopla. Gonna go do other stuff before sleep. Hope you all have a good day. Oh, hey, you too, man. Yeah, you do you. Have a nice nap. Good sleeps. Good days. I always took it as, if you don't like it, don't listen to him. It felt like getting mad at a science educator for putting in, since media is getting mad at for making jokes at video games. Real issues he's just not great at. Yeah, that's the thing, is like, he's a scientist. He's not like a professional writer or like a comedy writer. So yeah, like he might have like a nugget of something good there, but like, yeah, like he's not able to like kind of pull it off. Yeah. Yeah, you know what's funny is this song's from Crash Bandicoot, and I had another song from Crash Bandicoot on here. I think it's from like the jetpack levels. That's like one of my favorite songs in the Crash Bandicoot series. But unfortunately, I can't play it on streams anymore because it got copyright flagged. But not by Naughty Dog or like Universal Interactive or whatever. It was copyrighted strike by a dude who made a cover of the song from the game. Which, that has happened to me multiple times now. People who have made covers of video game songs are copyright striking my videos, and it's like so bizarre that like that's a thing. Like, where is the legal precedent for that? Like, that's so bizarre. Because I'm not using their cover, so they like legally they have no ground to stand on. But there's really no way to fight it easily through YouTube's system. So you just kind of like shrug your shoulders, like, yeah, whatever, it's a living. We're not really. But yeah, so yeah, like one of the other big times that happened was, yeah, like the music from Dilbert 2, the YouTube video Dilbert 2. The music C-Boyardee used for that video is a cover of a song from a RoboCop video game, and I played C-Boyardee's version of it, but then yeah, sure enough, I got a copyright strike from someone else making a cover of this song from a RoboCop game, and it was clearly them like making a cover of C-Boyardee's version of it. So like they ripped off his cover and are now copywriting striking people for using his song. It's like, yeah, it's just so bizarre. Like, YouTube is weird. To put it lightly. Because, yeah, his cover sounds a lot like C. Boyardee's cover. So, like, he's just, like, straight up ripping him off at this point. So, like, at this point, I feel more frustrated for, like, C. Boyardee than me for that particular scenario. Because it's like, yeah, like, some dude ripped off his song, claiming it as a cover, and, yeah, now he gets all the money from anyone who uses C. Boyardee's song, which is, like, so weird. There we go. Ah, yes. So yeah, this song is from the, this is the main play music from the Addams Family Pinball Machine. And I really love this music because, like, it definitely evokes the vibe of those Addams Family movies, but it's not a song from those movies. Like, they just made, like, an original song that sounds like it's from those movies. So I think they only had the rights to, like, the Addams Family name, like the actor licenses, likenesses, and the like the Addams Family theme song, like the da 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 da. I think that's all they had the rights to. Like, they didn't have the rights to like the movie soundtrack or anything. So they had to make their own like music as far as that went. Almost done with the caution stripes. But yeah, once I'm done coloring in the yellow on these safety stripes, I'll probably give it a second to dry, and then go back over on the edges where the yellow and the black meet and just kind of clean that up a little bit. But while I'm waiting for that to dry and do that, I'll probably be painting in the middle here, some of this stuff in here. Alright. Alright, cool. Whew. Safety stripes are complete. Let's see here. If I can reach my drink. I got that sweet tea. Cables are getting all jangled up on the wheels. Here we go. There we go. That's better. Alright, let's see here. Alright, let's color this table next. That's gonna be brown. It's like a brown living room table. Or brown, like, dining room table, I should say. Dining room / kitchen table. So most of these pins I haven't used before, so I'm gonna have to like shake them up for like a minute, and then like do the thing where I kind of like gotta push it down a bunch and primer it and everything. Let's see here. I'm looking at how long I've been live for a timer on this thing. 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. So yeah, the first time you use these pins, they actually, yeah, like the tip is just like white. And you have to like go like this a bunch. So like kind of primer it and get the paint flowing. Yeah, like I'm so amazed at how well it works. Like yeah, science is a cool thing. There we go. See, yeah, you can see like starting to get a little bit in there. There we go. Now it's coming out of the bottle. Just about there. There we go. Perfect. There we go. And yeah, it's a lighter brown than I thought it would be. That's good. I was worried it'd be like a really dark brown. Like too dark. But that's a perfect shade of brown for like a kitchen table. Yeah, it's fill in all the big spots first, and then I'll kind of go back and do all the little nooks and crannies. It's fine. The guy who okay, so the music that the pinball machine that this music is from is, let me readjust the mic a little bit. There we go. That's a little better. So the pinball machine that this music is from is called Whitewater. It's a machine by Chris Grant. Or no, Chris Granter did the music. The machine was designed by Dennis Nordman, is his name. And Dennis Nordman was actually kind of like a little bit of an inspiration for this game, because a lot of his games that have original themes are like these kind of like goofy, sort of like comedy, comic booky kind of conceits and stuff. Like in particular, specifically, like one of the reasons I called the game Party Time is because he has like a trilogy of party games, like games that have party in the title. So, like yeah, and they all came out like the 80s, I believe. So the first one was Party Animals. Like it was like a pinball machine that came out. It's like a pinball machine that's like about like anthropomorphic animals like having like a rager party. So there's party animals, and then Elvira and the Party Monsters came out, and that's like Elvira having like a house party with all these monsters and stuff. And then the last one in the trilogy is Party Zone, which is like kind of like the hard. That one's like kind of the hardest one to describe of all the party games. The other ones are pretty straightforward, like, oh, it's these things having a party. The Party Zone is like, there's like a whole weird conceit to it where it's like this like weird rocket, like pilot, like old-timey looking pilot in a rocket ship came from the party dimension to have like a huge party or something, and it's like the game doubles as like an homage to like the other two party games. Because like the party monsters and like the party animals like show up in the back glass and stuff like that. So it's kind of a trilogy ender, I guess. Party Zone is. But yeah, like a lot of his games, yeah, have kind of this goofy, 80s kind of when is Lemon Party? No, don't even know. But yeah, so yeah, Dennis Nordman, another game of his that like really like probably the game of his that inspired this game the most is a game called Dr. Dude. And so the pinball machine Dr. Dude, the story of that game is it's like this nerd that it's basically like if you've ever seen like the Charles Atlas like King of the Beach old school comic ad where it's like the ad that used to be like an old school comics where it was like this nerd gets picked on and it's like, oh, mail out for this kit and it'll make you strong and cool. So it's like kind of playing on that. So like the theme of Dr. Dude is this nerd. He's sick of being a nerd, so he invents this machine that's basically the pinball machine that makes him cool. So like the idea is like you've mailed out for like this pinball machine and like you're playing it to like become cool or something. But like the whole like kind of comic booky kind of backstory and stuff was like a big, like the goofy kind of backstory comic kind of thing sort of inspired it. Inspired my thinking a little bit. Now, get up to the edges. Come on, you want to back up again? All right, come on. Hop up. Here, let me back up so you can get up here. Hop up! Come on! Hop up! Come on! You can do it! Yeah, see? Come on, come on, come on! Yeah, you gotta raise... Yeah, you gotta do all... There's like these different, like, parts of the machine you gotta activate to, like, raise the dude-o-meter. Like, yeah, it's like... Yeah, it's, like, really goofy and... Yeah. Like, I'm even kind of basing, like, the main kind of nerdy character in my game off of, like, the nerdy character from Dr. Dude. It's basically, like, the nerdy guy from Dr. Dude in my art style, essentially. Like, I tweaked him a little bit, but, like, it's basically that guy. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to go over most of these lines again, but that's cool. So mostly just like these lines are just here for guides at this point. So then once I get all the coloring in there, I'll be able to go back over it, make these lines nice and sharp. It's gonna be cool. So like I'm probably just gonna like not worry too much about about covering up most of this wire. I'm just gonna go back and draw it again anyway. So yeah, like I'm not too worried about drawing over any of these lines. It's better that I make sure all the bare spots are covered. 'Cause that'd be worse. That'd be worse to leave a bare spot than to just like cover some of this up. Because I can always go back and just redraw it. And luckily, it looks like the paint kind of just barely shows through. So yeah, I can just I'll be able to just trace the lines back. There we go. Oh, and yeah, like, the best thing about Dr. Dude is, like, the character himself. Like, Dr. Dude is, like, he's, like, the most painfully early 90s looking character I've ever seen. Like, he's like a doctor, but he's, like, a cool doctor. So his, like, lab coat is, like, a leopard print lab coat, and he has, like, this big, like, bouffant, like, what is that called when, like, the hair comes out forward? Like, he has like one of those, like the rockabilly thing. He has one of those, and then he has like a rat tail, and like it's so ugh. But I love it. It's so awful. I love it. Like, it is, Dr. Dude is like a perfect time capsule of like 1989 to 1991. I wasn't sure if I'd do it at game days, because I'm not sure if I'd have it there ready in time, but, like, I definitely, like, I feel like I would get, like, a big crowd if I dressed up as Dr. Dude at, like a pinball convention or something, for sure. But, Pompadour, yeah, that's what I was looking for. Yeah, he has, like, a big... he has just like a giant pompadour and a rat tail. Like, he's just like, ugh. I think the rat tail is the thing that really sends it over the edge, the hairstyle. Like, that's the thing that makes it kind of, ugh. So the pompadour is fine on its own, but like, you add a pompadour and a rat tail are such conflicting hairstyle choices that it's like baffling. Like, I wonder if anyone in real life ever had that hairstyle of a pompadour and a rat tail. Or was it, or is Doctor Do just an interpretation of what, like, a 30-year-old man in, like, 1989 thought a cool guy would look like? Where's the tournament? The tournament today is at, there's a new arcade that actually opened up, like, a month or two ago near me. That they're having, like, this is basically gonna be their first tournament there. It's called Rec Bar 812. So it's actually the second location they've opened. They have the first location just plain Rec Bar. I've gone over there and played in a bunch of tournaments there. But so they just opened their but that's over in Kentucky. So that's like this one is like the first one that they've opened in Indiana. So it's like half the distance for me to go to here versus the one in Kentucky. Speaking of cyberpunk, here's this is the music from the Johnny Mnemonic pinball machine. Let me turn this up a little bit. I want to hear it. This is from the era of pinball machines where like the music was like they essentially like they had upgraded from chiptune to like really nice MIDI. Essentially, those were like mid '90s, I believe. Primer this red. New CPU just arrived. Congrats, man. Nice. Nice. Yeah, one of these days I'd love to get build a decent desktop computer when I can afford to put some funds down. I'm definitely gonna look into that. Because all I have right now is a MacBook Pro. Like that's what I do everything off of. I mean, it's a nice newer MacBook Pro that I've like invested in, but still would be nice to have a desktop. Oh, hey bud. Hi. Primer this pin. Oh, yeah. I appreciate it, Jordan Jones. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, I'll let you know. This red's more pinkish. That's kind of weird. I mean, that's cool. I like that shade, but... I mean, I'm not crazy, right? That looks a little more pinkish. Well, no, on the camera it looks really red, but in real life it looks kind of somewhere between red and Pepto-Bismol, which, that's okay. That works. So if if the red looks slightly pinkish, I wonder what pink looks like. That's gonna be, ooh. It looks like when it dries, it starts getting a little more redder looking in person. Just yeah, when it's wet, it looks like yeah, like I said, somewhere between like red and Pepto-Bismol. Or not quite as pink as Pepto-Bismol, but yeah, like more of a not even bubblegum pink, like somewhere between like red and like hot, like a hot pink, I guess. But yeah, I'm looking at the monitor, and yeah, it looks like red. It looks like fire truck ass red, which It's not the case in real life, which is it's funny how cameras and stuff, and eyes and balls and stuff work. I'm gonna color the insides of those. I forgot. Oh wait, no, the insides of like Dixie cup, not Dixie cups, but the insides of red Solo cups are white, right? I'm not sure. Red Solo cup. Yep. Okay, cool. So yeah, I can leave those like that. And I'm just trying to think of what color to make the liquid that's pouring out of this cup that's turned over. I guess I could make it like greenish, like it was like a Mountain Dew or something. Or no, not that color, because that's the color I'm using for the background. Let's try, yeah, like a yellowish might be alright, like a lemonade or something. No, I already have all this yellow. I don't want more yellow there. Yeah, I'm trying to think of what color to make this liquid that's pouring out, but while I'm thinking about that, let's white and it's gray. Too bad I don't have like a real dark brown, because then I can make that like a Coca-Cola or something. Yeah, I could do purple. Yeah, purple drink makes sense. Because yeah, otherwise there's no, because like there's gonna be a bunch of purple up here, but there's no purple down here. So yeah, just a little splash of purple right there, probably good.
Crudbomb.com.
I love that he paid for like whatever guy that DJs use to like do like those like samples, like where'd you find this? Like whatever guy like does all those samples, like Crudbomb hired that guy to make a bunch of samples and he uses them all over this album. It's so good. It's literally just him saying like
Crudbomb.com, the best album.
just like that, those samples just like over and over all over this album. It's so good. I love that line. Like, I got a dang kid. I'm a mother effer. Literally. So good. Yes. The perfect late 80s computer gray. Yeah, it's mostly just like as long as I leave enough of the lines to kind of know where they are so I can retrace them. Like that's all that's important right now. Because yeah, I was planning on going over some of these lines again anyways. So when I erased some of them, some of these lines got a little lighter from the erasing to get rid of the pencil marks. Call me Donnie. So yeah, this music's from the Dungeons and Dragons pinball machine, and I love how like it sounds like it's a Bally pinball machine, but it sounds so different from the music that was in pinball machines at the time. And I've looked everywhere online, and I can't find. This is like the only pinball machine where I can't find out who was like the composer for the pinball machine. And like this is such a good ass like soundtrack for a pinball machine, especially for the 80s when this came out. Like this kind of like proggy, funky kind of sound is like so different from every other pinball soundtrack. Like at the time and kind of now. Like it almost kind of reminds me of if anyone out there listens to Tobacco or Black Moth Super Rainbow, it kind of almost reminds me of like their sort of sound, because it's like this like pinball chiptune hardware is just like, it just sounds like it's like chugging and just like trying its hardest to like pump out this music, and it kind of gives off the same vibe as like, yeah, like Tobacco and Black Moth Super Rainbow. You ever played digital pinball? Yeah, I played digital pinball. Like back when Pinball Arcade was still like kind of releasing new games and new tables and stuff, I would get some on there sometimes. I have since migrated over to Pinball FX. But I mainly I don't really buy like the Zen pinball like tables, like the original tables made by Zen. For the most part, I buy like the tables that are recreations of real ones. And I don't necessarily play virtual pinball to get better at real pinball, because they're two different skill sets. Because like real pinball has like the physics, or there's no way to easily program the physics of pinball to realistically feel the same as like actually being there, like being able to like nudge the machine around and stuff like that. Like that's never going to be able to, like, I say never, but it would take like a ridiculous amount of processing power and programming and calculations to get those kind of physics, and no one's going to take that effort just for a pinball game. But yeah, I still like virtual pinball, but I use virtual pinball mainly as a way to learn the rules for those games rather than like getting good at those games. So like I'll load up so that's why I buy like the recreations of real pinball machines. It's like, oh, I'll plunk down like $5-10 and get a couple of these tables, and then that way I can just play them over and over and over for free at that point, instead of, you know, like plunking down 50 cents or $1 a pop at the arcade to learn what's like the best strategy on these games and stuff like that. So yeah, I do play digital pinball, but it's mostly almost kind of as research for the real pinball machine, so I know what to do when I find that machine in the real world. need no credit card, ride this train. Don't 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 need no credit card, ride. And you know what? I think I'm actually going to keep the wood color for the keys because that almost looks like that kind of off-white, yellowish off-white kind of color that keys used to be. So I think I'll actually leave that color. $1 pop, what a ripoff. Just buy the tables and want to play them. Yeah. It's funny, yeah. I feel like everyone even I feel like sometimes feel like, oh man, $1 to play this game that could be done in like 30 seconds. Like it seems like a lot, but at the same time, that pinball machines nowadays, like at a minimum, new from the factory cost like $7,000. So I don't blame them upping it to $1 a game. Considering they need to find 7,000 people to play that game before they start to make a profit, before they cut even. But I mean, but after that point, it's pure profit, baby. No, yeah, I know you're goofing, but yeah. Oh, your locks look particularly shiny in the camera, like shinier than they do even in real life. I must have did a good job with the color balancing and stuff. Cause you're looking like a friggin' movie star down there, Kuma. You could be in like the next Beverly Hills Chihuahua or something. Now for that purple drink. American. Almost. Just getting to the chip. There we go. Yeah, ha ha. We got purple. Whoa, hey bud. What's up? What's up? What's up, Kuma? What's up, buddy? You okay? Alright, there you go. That looks pretty good, yeah. Cool. Now let's get out like this crazy fine point white for getting in there and getting like the lips of those solo cups and stuff. But yeah, by the end of I'm probably gonna end the stream around 6 or so, just so I can have enough time to have dinner before that tournament. But yeah, I'm gonna try to get at least this part here done. before then. I ever thought about making this table in one of the virtual pinball makers? I thought about doing that. Actually, I thought about doing that first before making it physically, like to test the shots and stuff. But it was like a whole, it would have been a whole nother like hurdle of things to learn to have like made it virtually before making it physically. So I just like, screw that. I'll just prototype physically. So it seems quicker than that. But yeah, I have thought about like making tables or like virtual pin and stuff like that. Yeah. Yeah, the perspective's bad on this cup. This cup's bigger. This cup in the background's bigger than the one in the foreground. Let's see here. That's an easy fix, though. Luckily, at this phase. Let's see here. It looks like it's about the right height. I could make it a tiny bit shorter. These. A little smaller on this side. Alright. I'll let that dry and come back to that in a sec. While it's drying, let's do the other lips. There we go. That really sells the solo cup look, I feel. That little touch of white. There we go. And also, the other cool thing about paint pens is because it's such a thin paint, it dries in like a minute. So like that brown that I put down is already dry. So now I can go over that. Black pen. And then let's redraw this guy. Okay, so let's say that's... Oh, hey Kuma. Hey buddy. There we go. Perspective on that looks a little better now. How big do I need to make? Like that. There we go. Yeah, the perspective on that looks a lot better. But yeah, thank goodness these paint pens are so opaque and are able to like cover up each other so well. So I'll let that dry, and while that's, and then I'll go over the last little bit of white there. But while that's drying, let's go ahead and start coloring one of our main characters up here. I believe, what did I name these characters? Herbert. Okay, so yeah, I named these two characters Herbert and George. So Herbert's like the brainy guy, one who invented the time machine, and George is like his kind of, I guess, sort of rocker stoner friend, I guess. So I named them Herbert and George Because that's what the HG and HG Wells stands for. So I figured, like, oh, you know, the guy who made the time machine, the guy who like invented the concept of time machines, use his name. Like, like those names will probably never pop up in the game, because, but yeah, that is their names. Get the orange primed, because this boy a redhead. There we go. Hey, Puma. Hey, buddy. Here, how about I put my arm down here? There we go. Now let's get our our peachy skin tone out. Hi, bud. What's up, bud? I find it funny that I named this this stream series Build-A-Ball Workshop as like a pun off of Build-A-Bear, workshop, and I ended up getting a dog whose name translates to bear. Kind of a funny coincidence, I guess. You Frankenstein dogs over there? Fill the balls to cover them on you. Oh no, 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 no. Don't tell PETA. Don't tell PETA my secrets. They'll make some like terrible Flash game parody of me if you tell PETA about me. Like, remember when that was a phase that PETA went through for a while there? Like, they were making, like, they were, like, trying to take down video games for some reason. They were like, oh, yeah, video games are clearly anti-animal. So then, like, yeah, they started making all those Flash games that were, like, a parody of, like, Cooking Mama and Mario and stuff. So they're like, Cooking Mama is a murderer! Cooking Mama is cooking meat! Ah! Yes, this virtual mother is using virtual meat. Sorry, PETA. My virtual mom will go vegan for you. Sorry, PETA. I wish there was an easy way for me to zoom in the camera on like right here, right where I'm drawing. But I would have to like go in and like physically stretch things and crop things, and I'd have to do that every time I moved to a different spot. So if this was like a real camera instead of a webcam, I could do those kinds of things. Feel like all fancy with my cinematography. Mise en scene, as the French say. Alright. Yeah, I think that pail might need another coat. PETA is still awful. People are just more onto their bullshit. Yeah. Like, I feel like, yeah, like, there was a point, a few years back where, yeah, people finally were, like, catching on to, like, how shitty PETA's practices actually are. and like how like they just like how many animals they actually just euthanize on their own and stuff like that, and just all that crazy stuff. I don't need to go into it. Watch. I'm sure there's a fucking John Oliver video about PETA that'll fill you in, and then he'll make some really funny joke like Drumpf. Like, I feel like I'm really conflicted on Last Week Tonight, like that John Oliver show. It's like on one point it's like, yeah, they're talking about some good important topics and stuff, but then they like kind of the jokes kind of like they try to like put too many jokes into it and it kind of falls flat. Like I feel like the jokes kind of undermine the really important things he's talking about sometimes. Yeah. Yeah, exactly, Jordan Jones, yeah. And you know what? I'm kind of inspired. I was originally going to make his glasses like a red color, but I think I'm gonna make his glasses purple. Just like another little splash of purple down there. Like, yeah, purple rimmed. So let's see here. Now I need to do his shirt. Have you seen, oh, what is the name of it? There's like a really good video that's makes fun of like all of those kind of like all of those like Comedy Central shows that are on right now that are like all political shows and stuff, like that thing like Samantha Bee has, and then like John Oliver. It is such a pitch perfect parody of like those kinds of like liberal comedy like kind of shows. If I can find it. What is it called? Oh, Craig Fixada America. That's it. It's Fixada as in Fix ADA. Craig Fixada America. And it's so good. It's like a perfect parody of those kind of shows. So yeah, Craig Fixada America is like, I highly recommend it, and it's like a long video too. It's like a 20-something minute. It's like the length of like an episode of a show. It's like really well produced. Like it looks like it could be a TV show. Yeah, Viaboo. Yeah. And like even the website, like that. Like, the video itself is great. The Craig Fixada America itself is great, but the website it's on is, like, another layer of the joke. So, the joke is, that video is on viaboo.com, which is a parody of, oh, I forget the name of them, but, like, all those kind of, like, CISO, and all of those, like, kind of weirdly named streaming channels that came out and like went away really quickly because like they bombed. It's specifically like CISO and like those streaming kind of services that kind of like tried to like take on Netflix but flatline. So Viaboo is supposed to be like like a CISO kind of website where it's like a streaming service, and like, so you'll be like all the videos on there are like full length like video like of like it's like an episode of an episode of a fake show, and like while you're watching all these episodes of fake shows, in the middle of it they have commercials for Viaboo like talking about it, and it's I don't want to go too deep into it, but yeah, it's great. So there's like while you're watching the videos on the website, there's commercials for this fake streaming service you're watching. Yeah, Voodoo. That's It was like it's specifically it's a mix of like Voodoo and CISO and all those weird kind of streaming service names. Yeah. So, yeah, I forgot about Voodoo. That was the one I was trying to think of, like, because that was like that's like definitely like one of the ones I used as like an inspiration for that name. I owned a digital copy of the Fast and the Furious movie that Ryan gave me 1 point on. I think my dad owns. I think my dad owns the John Wick movies on Vudu. There we go. Because my dad doesn't have a Blu-ray player, or I don't think he even has a DVD player. So he just. But yeah, so like that sucks for my dad because he bought those John Wick movies and now they're, I guess. Or something closed down and moved to Vudu. Oh yeah, I don't know. Yeah, like all these streaming services are like to survive are just like eating each other, and it's madness right now. It's madness. And then they had some dumb backward system to transfer the movies. It's all a mess. Like that's why I never bought digital movies because I knew like I know like some point down the road I'm probably not gonna be able to watch that movie anymore. So like I'll stream movies, all day, but I'm not gonna pay for a specific movie digitally. Like, I don't think I'll ever do that. Because it's like, they just have too much power to be able to just like say like, oh, you don't own that movie anymore, goodbye. And who knows, like, you bought that movie, but then like 10 years down the road, you're like, oh yeah, I want to watch that movie again, and you try to load it up and like that service is like long gone. Yeah, and also, you can just, like, Google, like, you just have to Google the words, like, free movie, and, like, a bunch of websites will pop up for you to, like, stream it. So, they got it, like, that's the thing is, these companies gotta compete with the convenience of free. Like, it's just right there. Like, they gotta find better ways to compete with that. Yeah, dang, I love how quick this stuff dries. Almost forgot his chompers. Alright. Now let's take this tie. This tie is going to be a two-stepper. So step one is going to be just to paint this tie white. And let it dry. And then step two, I'm going to come back and add the stripes to it. Yeah, there we go. I'll let that dry. While it's drying, let's go back to this solo cup. There we go. Not quite dry, but it's getting there. Guess while it's drying, I'll clean some of this stuff behind him. It was almost George Washington with the wooden teeth. Yes. Funny enough, George Washington is in this pinball machine. So him and George would have had something in common at this party. All right. Beautiful. You went down again, bud? Alright. super ready for where did Poiple go? Where'd Mr. Poiple go? Puzzling. There we go. Purple was there, it was just upside down. Here we go. Now for the glosses. There we go. Voila. Alright, and now, put the stripes on his tie. There we go. There. There we go. Alright, I got him pretty much colored in, so now I just need to work on his background there. Let's see here. I believe, what did I base these reel-to-reel computers off of? IBM 7330, that's it. Okay, here we go, so yeah. So that down there is just kind of a whitish color. So yeah, I did base these reel-to-reel tape machines on here off of real ones. Yeah, specifically the IBM 7330. I'm trying to find some photos of like some decent ones in decent condition. There we go. Okay. So, okay, so the middle is just kind of white. Okay. Tomatoes and potatoes and my peas. Tomatoes and potatoes and my peas. God, I'm so excited for Psychonauts 2. That was half the reason I recently, like a couple months back, bought a PS4. Was just like, okay, Psychonauts 4 coming, or Psychonauts 4. I wish it was Psychonauts 4. Psychonauts 2 coming soon, baby. I'm going to be ready. So it's funny, that was the killer app for me to finally get a new console. I was like, well, I'm going to have to get the new Psychonauts eventually. Like, if I were to list, like, my top 3 favorite games, Psychonauts would absolutely be one of them. Like, it's hard to say it's my favorite game, but it is way, way, way up there. Like, I love Psychonauts. Alright. And then, actually, yeah, let's go ahead and color in. I love that first game. I'm trying to keep muted expectations for 2. Yeah, same. I mean, like, I'm pumped, but at the same time, I know that, like, yeah, like, there's a chance it could be bad. I guess, yeah, I'm being cautiously optimistic that hopefully it'll be awesome. Because, I mean, even the first Psychonauts wasn't a perfect game. There are things you could improve. Which, like, that's what kind of gives me hope. Is, like, the fact that, like, Psychonauts isn't a perfect game. You can improve on it. And Tim Schafer is acutely aware of all of the things they didn't pull off as good in Psychonauts. And I'm hoping, like with Tim Schafer at the reins, we'll see something good. But yeah, I mean, yeah, it's good to be cautiously optimistic with anything nowadays. Bought a PS3 for Tokyo Jungle and bought a PS4 for Let It Die. Huh, yeah. I remember when Matt Bruce was my roommate, he played a lot of Let It Die. And it seemed cool, but yeah, I didn't have a PS4 at the time. And now it seems like, I'm not sure if there's like as much of a point to get into playing it nowadays. Because like I thought it was like a partially online kind of experience, like playing like against other players and stuff, and I'm not sure if there's like a huge community in that game still. I mean, there might be. I don't know. It is partially online, but it's not multiplayer focused. Okay. Because yeah, I remember there was like some sort of like raiding concept where like people could raid your camp or something. That like asynchronous online gaming, that's all the buzz. Ooh, yeah, I gotta crank this on. You know that stuff and just focus on the story if you wanted. It is a lot of grind. That was the other thing I heard. Like that game, visually looks awesome, and it has like some neat things going on, like combat and stuff. But yeah, it just seemed like it was just like a lot of the same thing, just kind of over and over. Like, I can't handle grinding in games. Like, I can't do it. Like, I can't play an RPG where you just have to sit there and do battles for, like, hours and hours and hours to, like, stat your characters up to, like, for, like, a certain boss battle or whatever. Like, that is not fun to me. Like, I can't do it. Like, to this day, I've never beaten a Final Fantasy just because I can't grind. Like, that's just not fun to me. Like, my eyes roll in the back of my head when I have to grind. Like, nothing against RPGs. I mean, they're obviously popular for a reason, but it's just not for me. Not my jam. But if it is your jam, more power to you. And like, it really sucks too, because it's like, some of these games, it's like, oh, it's a really cool story, and it's like, literally the story is the only thing like keeping me playing. Because like, the gameplay is like boring as hell. There's a little bit of point blue right there. Oh yeah, Neil Cicierega would be an awesome Game Days guest. I've never even thought of that, but yeah, you're right. That'd be rad. Let's see, let me bring my reference photo back up I'm looking at for this pooper. That's blue, and that's black, and that's kind of... And so, like, a lot of that's kind of just, like, sterile white. Or no, that one's gray. That's gray. Okay. So I can do that. Fill that in. Just got to fill it in on those. Yep, just like a little gray loop-de-loop around it. So those ones are gray. And then, like, I think all of these are white. So yeah, all those ones are white, and then those other three buttons are red. Sorry, this one's gonna be a little harder. Actually, yeah, I just have to do it like this. This tip is a little too broad to get in there, so I just have to go outside the lines and then just color it over with black, and it'll be good to go. All right, is there, what's that? There we go, okay. So here, come on, yeah, pop up, buddy. Yeah, my buddy, yeah. So I think I'm gonna be calling it, for this stream, because yeah, I gotta get ready for that tournament I was talking about. It's like in 45 minutes. But yeah, thanks to everyone who tuned in. I think this was a pretty good, made some decent progress. I'm definitely gonna have, like, next stream we'll definitely have, like, probably this whole bottom half, like, finished. Let me get the, let me get the camera real quick. Zoom in there and kind of show you. Catch it real quick here. There we go. me actually show you. Yeah, like here's the detail of what we're doing today. So yeah, we got some good stuff done. Yeah, that's all right there. So yeah, I'll go back in and like fill in all those lines, and it'll look real nice and crisp and dope. But yeah, so yeah, this has been Build-A-Ball Workshop. Thank you and good afternoon.